Gentlemen, let's talk about Edge of Tomorrow. Hello, my friends from RuleThirds.com. How you guys doing? Hopefully good. We are here to discuss a new movie, as always, on Rule Thirds Reviews. And today we are going to be talking about the new Tom Cruise sci-fi film, Edge of Tomorrow. So, Sean, what did you think of the plot and the characters?
Well, I think the characters were fine. Not too much really beyond that. I did think that Cruise did a good job.
Oh, yeah. I definitely loved Tom Cruise's performance in this film. I think he did a great job with his character. He felt like the character he was actually trying to be. And I don't feel that a lot of actors are just as likable as Tom Cruise is, especially in, like, sci-fi action films. Max, what about you?
Yeah, when it comes to the characters, at least, I think Tom Cruise did an excellent job. I gotta give props to Emily Blunt, who knocked it out of the park.
And if I might step in and start a discussion on plot, at times it could be a bit slow and repetitive, but I think that's kind of intentional and kind of part of the experience. Like, it puts us in the mindset of the character. Like, we keep seeing this over and over, and we feel like that, come on, let's move on, and he's stuck in the same loop as us. So while I think it's a slight negative, I think it was anticipated and a necessary evil almost.
I really like the plot. I think it's a bit presumptuous, though. There are certain scenes in which, based on the main character's movements, he goes to new places. And then we're just supposed to kind of accept that he has gone here before, even though it's our first time being there. So I wish the filmmakers had got a chance to, like, show that he had done this a billion times, instead of just going to a new location and going, oh, okay, so we just have to assume that Tom Cruise has been through all this before. But other than that, I freaking love the plot. I think it was awesome.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Right now, we're going to talk about the action of the film. I guess I'll just start off on this because I love the action in this movie. I think it's well shot. I think it's stimulating. Sometimes it can just lack so much color that shots begin to just look the same and it starts to become monotonous. But, like, it's really thrilling because this concept really lends itself to, even though they're repeating the same scene over and over, they can change how we see it. And thus the action becomes more intriguing because of it. How about you, Sean? What do you think?
Honestly, there were definitely a few standout moments, but overall, nothing really wowed me. I think it was well-done action, but I have nothing else to add, really.
The action was good, solid. Not much to talk about, but I was very surprised by how varied the action was.
Yeah, it did have different, like, types of confrontations. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
So far, we're still positive. Good, we're keeping this streak alive. Let's keep it up with aesthetics. Now, when we say aesthetics of this movie, we're meaning designs, visuals, how the movie looks and how it feels. Now, the concept works with those looks. Sean, what do you think?
It sounds weird, but this is a fairly realistic vision of the future, like, in context of the story. Like, we're trying to adapt to this, so it would be rough and kind of prototype stage. So I think it looked great. It looked pretty unique, but yeah, I like that it was fairly realistic.
I love the alien designs. My only problem is that they gave him, like, a face and a mouth, and I wish they didn't have that. I wish it was more alien, because I think a lot of sci-fi movies sometimes, like, go to make it too familiar to us, to make them, like, cool. But, like, if they just took away the mouth and everything, they are terrifying things.
I love that they had a face and a mouth. It was, like, glowing mouth and eyes, and the way they moved, I think it was very unique, very creative, and I love how they wore glowing colors. They looked so foreign. It was. I think they were great designs.
Oh, yes, I love it. You know, all these alien designs nowadays, they kind of succumb to the Cloverfield look a little bit. These just look completely different. Like, it looks like someone took a really new approach with it, and I love it. But now we're going to go on to something a bit more specific. We want to talk about the time travel aspect of this film. As we all know, the concept behind Edge of Tomorrow is that a man gets caught in an infinite loop, sort of, as people have been saying, Groundhog Day meets Gears of War.
Yeah.
As far as time travel goes, I think the concept was actually pulled off very well. I feel that the time travel not only kind of makes Tom Cruise our convoy in this situation, but it also adds a lot of humorous aspects to it.
Very necessary comedy.
Yes, and it works because Tom Cruise's character does have humor built around him. So it's nice to have that humor work with Emily Blunt with a concept that doesn't feel like it's forced or it's trying too hard. Sean, talk to us about the time travel.
I love this concept, and I like what they did with it. They didn't really, like, build up to something huge, but that's okay because the focus is using the gimmick to build the story rather than the other way around.
I think they totally nailed it.
So now that we got time travel out of the way, we are all still positive, so hopefully the additional comments doesn't ruin it. I'm going to start. most of it I love. I just want to make one. There's like the only major problem I have is a problem that me and Sean both happen to share. That would be
just a little one.
That would be the ending to the film. The main reason I don't like the ending is because, in short, I think there was a lot of potential to make this story, kind of make it a complete circle very nicely, very maturely, in for lack of a better word. And I feel this ending is just kind of unnecessary, kind of ruins what could have been great.
It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. No matter what angle I approach it at, this is a completely nonsensical ending. Nothing adds up. And previously, it had really well-established rules, and it worked within them really well. And then here, it just throws it all out the window, and I really hate the ending.
But Maxwell disagreed.
I'm not like, I don't think it's a great ending, but I think the ending works. It was fine. I didn't find much to go up in arms about.
All right, so that's mine. Kind of a tangent, but Max, go with yours.
I actually really enjoyed the opening sequence. I think it was, like, you see that a lot with, like, movies that try to establish the future and how things have gone to hell. But this one worked really well because it gave us so much exposition within a 5-minute time frame, and it used Tom Cruise's character in there to introduce us to what he does.
Yes.
That, like, this is, it is the,
nice.
Like, this sequence closes the book on those opening sequences.
I loved how there was no damsel in distress. It would have been so easy, make Tom Cruise the big hero, saving the pretty lady. Never happened. So refreshing. Thank you for not doing that movie. And also, why does this not have a video game? Seriously, do it, guys. Make a video game. Someone.
Exactly. Perfect game mechanics right there. I agree. So we are making the way towards the end of this delightful review, which thankfully we were all very positive about Edge of Tomorrow. So let's talk about our thesi, and final comments. Sean, we'll start with you.
I appreciate Edge of Tomorrow more than I like it, but I do really like it. It's just so refreshing to see an original, non-franchise, non-young adult science fiction film, but more than that, it's great to see one implement its premise just as well as this one did. So, Edge of Tomorrow, I give a 7.5 out of 10.
And Max, what about you?
Though a bit presumptuous, Edge of Tomorrow is a thoroughly engaging, finely tuned sci-fi romp that succeeds in building a solid foundation around just a fascinating concept. For me, it's the best movie of the summer so far, and it gets an 8 out of 10.
Whoa! Best movie. Whoa, okay.
Damn, that is quite the rating. Edge of Tomorrow may not be, the next great sci-fi film, but in my eyes, it takes a concept we've seen plenty of times before, but does a clever job of giving it new light in a very entertaining way. It's a lot of fun. Tom Cruise is great. I'm going to give Edge of Tomorrow, just like Sean, a 7.5 out of 10. And on that note, it looks like we are going to wrap up this review. Guys, thank you so much for watching this Edge of Tomorrow review. Remember, for all things film culture, you can go right onto rulethirds.com for more fun. Next time, we'll be handling a slightly different tone, the Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill comedy 22 Jump Street, on the next episode of Rule Thirds Reviews. As always, my name is Larry.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Max.
Thank you all so much for watching. Toodaloo! Hello viewers, and thank you for watching this episode of Rule Thirds Reviews on Edge of Tomorrow. If you'd like to watch the last episode we did, which was X-Men Days of Future Past, you can click on the video playing at the bottom right. Or if you want a full playlist of every episode we've done so far, you can click on the words Rule Thirds Reviews at the top of the screen. As always, if you want to stay updated on all things Rule Thirds, you can go onto Twitter @RuleThirds or to Facebook, facebook.com/RuleThirds. And as always, for all things film culture, you can go right onto RuleThirds.com for more fun. Thanks for listening, and click away.